The dust of Helios 4 swirled around my boots as I carefully brushed away centuries of sediment from the artifact. My excavation site sat on the outskirts of Meridian City, the gleaming capital of the galactic confluence, where we humans were tolerated but rarely respected. I'm Naro, 28 years old, with weathered hands and a fire in my eyes. I've spent my life studying the fragments of history that might reveal humanity's forgotten legacy, our true place among the stars. Find anything worth keeping, Dirt Digger? The harsh voice belonged to Varek, a towering Theldian supervisor who delighted in reminding humans of their place. His scaled skin shimmered under the twin suns. I bit back a sharp reply. Just cataloging the usual remnants, sir. Pre-confluence era, standard preservation protocols. Varek snorted. Don't waste resources on human trinkets. The directive wants progress on the eastern quadrant by tomorrow. As he stalked away, I finally exhaled. In my palm, the small relic, a thumb-sized pendant with swirling patterns, seemed to warm slightly. This was it. Another piece of evidence that humans weren't always refugees scrambling for acceptance. Another fragment the confluence authorities would likely classify as historically insignificant and bury in some forgotten archive. You're handling that quite delicately. I turned, startled, to find a cerulean woman observing me. Unlike most aliens I met, her voice held genuine curiosity, not dismissal. Her skin had the characteristic blue-violet hue of her species, with intricate bioluminescent patterns that shifted subtly with her emotions. Her eyes, deep amber with flecks of gold, studied me with an unexpected intensity. "Scholar Lyra," I managed, quickly getting to my feet. The foremost xenohistorian in the confluence rarely visited field sites, let alone spoke to a human worker like me. "I didn't know you were overseeing this excavation." "I'm not, officially," she replied, moving closer, her long robes sweeping just above the dusty ground. "But I've been following your documentation. Your attention to the micro-patterns is unusual. Most excavators miss them entirely." I hesitated, then held out the pendant. "They appear on numerous artifacts across different sites. The Confluence archives classify them as decorative, but the mathematical precision suggests—" "A language," she finished, her eyes lighting up. "Or perhaps coordinates." Our fingers brushed as she took the pendant, and an unexpected warmth shot up my arm. For a moment, something passed between us, a flash of recognition, though we'd never met before. "There's an old story among the Cerulean archives," Lyra said quietly, "about humans and their connection to something called the resonance, a bond that transcended physical limitation. Another myth to make us feel better about our place in the galaxy?" I couldn't keep the bitterness from my voice. She studied me with those remarkable eyes. "All myths contain seeds of truth, archaeologist Naro, perhaps especially those that powerful interests wish to dismiss." She returned the pendant, her fingers lingering for a moment. "I'm assembling a research team for the northern ruins. The directive has finally granted limited access. I'd like you to join us." I stared, completely stunned. "Me? But I'm not even—" "You see patterns others miss," Lyra interrupted gently. "And you question what others accept. Both are qualities I value." Her bioluminescence shifted to a deeper, more resolute hue. "Unless you prefer cataloging human trinkets for Varek?" For the first time in months, I felt a spark of hope ignite within me. "When do we begin?" A slow smile spread across Lyra's face. "We already have. That night in my small apartment on the edge of the human quarter, I dreamed of stars singing in a language I almost understood, and a woman with amber eyes guiding me toward a brilliant light buried deep beneath ancient stone. The journey was just beginning. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to see where Naro and Lyra's adventure leads, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Your support means the world. See you next time. The first warning came not as a sound, but as a sickening ripple in the cosmos, a distortion only I could feel. Void Raiders. And this time, they were coming with a fleet larger than anything we had ever faced. I found Alara as she was mobilizing the defense team, her face set with grim determination. "They'll breach the dome within hours," I said, my voice tight. "The colony has to get to the underground bunkers." She didn't stop, her hands moving expertly as she strapped on her armor. "There aren't enough supplies down there for everyone, Kalen. We have to fight." "Your weapons are useless against their technology," I argued, a familiar frustration rising. She turned, her eyes flashing with defiance. "Then help us. You're a guardian, so guard." Her challenge struck a chord. This was no time for half measures. I let the human disguise fall away, my true form rippling into existence, a being of pure cosmic energy, a swirling nebula of light and power. Ilara gasped, her hand instinctively going to her sidearm, but she didn't run. She held her ground. "I will engage them beyond the atmosphere." My voice was different now, a chorus of harmonies echoing in the command center. "Just keep your people safe." As I turned to leave, a small figure burst through the doors. It was Nico, his eyes wide with a terror that went beyond the immediate threat. "Don't go!" he cried, rushing towards me. "I saw it. They have a new weapon. It pulls stars apart." Ilara tried to soothe him. "It's just a nightmare, Nico." "No." He clutched at my shimmering form, his small hands sinking into my energy field. "They know you're here. They're coming for you." I hesitated. The boy's dreams. They had a chilling habit of coming true. "Describe it," I demanded, my voice resonating with urgency. "A black cylinder," he stammered, "with red lights. It makes a hole in space, like the ones in my science book. A black hole." I froze. A singularity weapon, forbidden by every interstellar treaty known to exist. If the Raiders had one. Before I could even process the implication, the first explosion rocked the biodome. A spiderweb of cracks fractured the transparent ceiling above us. Alarms blared, their shrill cries swallowed by the rising panic. They were here. "Get everyone to the bunkers!" I ordered, sweeping Nico into Ilara's arms. "Now!" Chaos erupted. Colonists screamed, stampeding toward the central hub. I moved to the breach points, pouring my energy into sealing the fractures, trying to hold our fragile world together. Outside, the sky went dark, blotted out by dozens of raider ships. And then I saw it. A larger ship descending, its belly opening to reveal the exact weapon Nico had described, a device that spat in the face of universal law. "Kalen!" Ilara's voice crackled over the comms. "The East Quadrant is collapsing." I divided my essence, stretching myself thin, a guardian trying to be in 10 places at once. The strain was immense. I could survive the vacuum, but the humans would be snuffed out in an instant if the dome failed. Then, a flicker of movement. An infiltration pod, already inside the perimeter. Armed figures were emerging, making a beeline for the command center where Ilara was coordinating the evacuation. It was a diversion. They were trying to draw me out. And it worked. I abandoned the repairs and materialized between the raiders and the command center doors. 3 of them fell to my cosmic fury before they could even raise their weapons. But I had miscalculated. The real attack was behind me. The black cylinder deployed inside the dome. It hummed with a terrible, hungry energy aimed not at the colony, but directly at me. "Kalen!" It was Nico's voice. The boy had slipped from Ilara's grasp and was running, his small legs pumping, right towards me. "Stay back," I commanded, but it was too late. The weapon discharged. A silent, invisible wave of gravitational distortion tore through the air. I braced myself, ready to absorb the singularity, to let it tear me apart if it meant saving the others. But a small, swift shape moved between us. Nico. He threw himself into the weapon's path. For one horrific, suspended moment, he just hung there, his small body caught in a vortex of cosmic forces. Then, he fell. I caught him, cradling his broken form against my chest. Blood was already seeping through his simple clothes. His amber eyes, usually so bright, were growing dim. "I saw this too," he whispered, his voice a fragile thread. "It was the only way." "No," I pleaded, trying to pour my healing energy into him to mend the shattered atoms, but the weapon's effect was absolute. "Tell Ilara to look at the stars when she's sad," he murmured, a tiny smile on his lips. "Tell her I'll be there." His small hand pressed against my chest, a final fleeting warmth. "Remember your heart." And then, the light in his eyes faded. Gone. And in its place, something inside of me, something ancient, cold, and terrible, awoke. The day the light shattered was the day they taught a guardian how to hate. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from across the universe. Until next time, stay safe and keep looking up. For 6 long weeks, the Drift Nebula was our chaotic sanctuary. A swirling tempest of stellar dust that hit us from the confluence, but threatened to tear us apart at every turn. We found shelter in a tiny cerulean outpost, a hollowed-out asteroid that became our temporary home. It was there, in the quiet hum of recycled air, that I truly began to understand Axiom. It wasn't just a crystal, not just a tool. It was the living memory of a forgotten age, a repository of wisdom from ancient humans and their allies. One evening, with the nebula's ethereal glow filtering through the viewport, I tried to explain it to Lyra. "Axiom was a fail-safe," I said, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing softly as she rested against me. "Not a weapon to dominate, but a library to remember. A way to rebuild everything we've lost." Her touch was a gentle anchor in the storm of my thoughts. In our forced exile, our bond had become something more, something deeper. Our differences, once a source of friction, now felt like 2 halves of a whole. "The confluence only understands control," she murmured, her voice a soft vibration against my chest. "They can't conceive of power without conquest." "Is that what we have?" I asked, pulling her closer. "Power." She looked up, her amber eyes holding a universe of their own. "We have something much rarer," she replied. "Harmony." But harmony is a fragile thing. Our peace was shattered by the shriek of alarms. Outside, chaos had found us. Directive forces, Theldian separatists, and ruthless mercenaries. 3 fleets, all tearing through the nebula, all hunting for Axiom. The first explosion rocked our asteroid haven, and the universe itself seemed to shudder. Axiom materialized beside us, its crystalline form glowing with a fierce protective light. "I can protect you," it stated, its voice resonating not in our ears but in our minds. "But it will require full integration." My heart hammered against my ribs. "What does that mean?" "Our energies would merge." "Temporarily," Axiom explained. "Your consciousness would guide my capabilities." Lyra's grip on my hand tightened. "Is it dangerous?" she asked, her voice laced with fear. "There is risk," Axiom admitted. "No human has attempted this since the forgetting." Another blast, closer this time, showering our viewport with asteroid debris. We were out of time. There was only one choice. "Do it," I said. Golden light, brilliant and blinding, consumed me. It felt like Axiom was dissolving, flowing into me like liquid sun. My mind exploded outward, my senses expanding beyond the confines of my body. I could see the energy patterns of the nebula, feel the gravitational pull of distant stars, and sense the intricate, invisible web that connects all living things. I could feel the attacking ships, their crews, their weapons systems, not as threats, but as discordant notes in a cosmic symphony. With a single thought, a shield of pure energy bloomed around our asteroid, deflecting the incoming fire. The sheer scale of it, the power, threatened to wash my identity away, to dissolve Naro into the all. Naro? Lyra's voice cut through the torrent, a lifeline. Her touch kept me grounded, kept me human. I'm here, I managed, my own voice sounding distant, alien. But I see everything. With Lyra as my guide, we steered our small ship out of the asteroid and into the heart of the battle. The pursuing fleets unleashed hell, but their shots dissipated harmlessly against Axiom's shield. As we breached the edge of the nebula and saw the clear, star-dusted black of open space, a new resolve hardened within me. We couldn't keep running. That wouldn't change anything. It was time to face them. It was time to reveal the truth. We turned our ship, not away from our pursuers, but straight toward the heart of the confluence, toward the capital, Meridian City. Are you certain? Lyra asked, her hand a steady, warm presence on my shoulder. Through Axiom's perception, I saw the shimmering threads of probability stretching out before us. Some led to ruin, to our destruction, but others led to a future I never dared to imagine, a future of transformation. Yes, I said, feeling Axiom's light pulse within me in agreement. We'll show them what true power looks like. Not control. Harmony. She kissed me, her faith a shield stronger than any energy field. Together, then. Behind us, our enemies regrouped, confused but relentless. Before us, our destination. We were carrying more than just an ancient artifact. We were carrying the chance to remake the galaxy. Thank you so much for joining me on this part of the journey. If you're enjoying the story, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. The support truly means the world. See you in the next one. Meridian City's orbital defenses are lighting up, a wall of energy aimed right at a single small vessel. That ship belongs to Naro, and he's not just carrying a message, he's carrying a power so immense it could reshape the galaxy. Behind him, the fleets that hunted him through the nebulae are now hanging back, waiting. They all want the same thing, the power of the Axiom. Down on the planet, in the heart of the directive, the 7 sovereign representatives are in an emergency session. On their screens, Naro's ship is a blip, but its energy signature is impossibly huge. Destroy it, one screams. No, capture the human, another insists. The city below holds its breath. Whispers spread like wildfire, rumors of an ancient force, of humanity's long-lost legacy. Aboard that small ship, Naro is one with the Axiom. Its power flows through him like golden fire, but he is still himself. Beside him, Lyra monitors the frantic communications. They're evacuating the government district, she reports, her voice steady. And 3 defense platforms have locked on. Naro just nods. He can feel the targeting systems like pinpricks on his skin. We're landing in the Grand Forum, he says calmly. It's time they all heard the truth. The platforms fire. Beams of pure destruction lance through space, aimed to vaporize them. But Naro extends his consciousness through the Axiom. He doesn't block the energy. He absorbs it, transforms it. The deadly beams become a harmless, beautiful cascade of light, a comet's tail guiding them down. Their ship lands in the Grand Forum, untouched, wreathed in that shimmering light. The panicked crowds fall silent. The hatch opens. Naro emerges, his body glowing from within, a golden aura surrounding him. Lyra follows, her own natural bioluminescence pulsing in harmony. Guards rush forward, weapons raised, but as they get close, their tech just dies. They halt, confused. We haven't come to harm anyone, Naro's voice booms across the forum, broadcast citywide by the Axiom's subtle touch. We've come to remember. With a gesture, he unleashes a flood of knowledge. The air fills with projections, holographic echoes of the past. They show the confluence's birth, humans and other species working side by side, building their society as equals. Humanity wasn't conquered, he declares. We were erased. Our history was buried. Our potential was feared. The sovereign representatives arrive, flanked by their elite soldiers. This changes nothing, the Theldian representative shouts. Surrender the construct! But Naro doesn't respond with force. He looks at Lyra, who gives him a nod of unwavering faith. He lets the axiom partially separate from him, manifesting as a shimmering crystal between them. Axiom isn't a weapon, he explains. It was made for remembrance, for renewal, to build bridges, not burn them. He extends his hand, and the axiom's energy flows outward, gently touching the minds of everyone present. It doesn't control, it connects. It shares glimpses of a future where their differences are their greatest strength. Feel what could be, Lyra adds, her voice resonating with hope. Not dominance, not subjugation, harmony. The feeling ripples through the crowd. Some resist, but many, especially the young, are filled with wonder. A Nexi child walks forward, unafraid, and touches the golden light. Her telepathic abilities amplify the connection, spreading it like a wave of understanding. The directive's power didn't crumble in a day, but a crack had formed. Humans across the city stood a little taller. Other species looked at them with new eyes. In the months that followed, Naro and Lyra built a new institute with the axiom at its heart. Not a fortress, but a library, open to all. Did you ever imagine this? Lyra asks him later, watching students from a dozen species learn together. Not exactly, Naro admits, taking her hand. But I always believed there was more to our story. Above them, the axiom pulses with a quiet contentment, its purpose finally fulfilled. A new constellation was taking shape in the galaxy, a pattern of hope, built not on conquest, but on connection. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. If you love this story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you then.